Chapter 8 Introduction to Excel 2016. What is a spreadsheet? Collecting, analyzing, and manipulating numeric data have been the common requirements in offices, business, banks, etc. To meet these requirements, most organizations rely on spreadsheets. A spreadsheet, also referred to as worksheet, is a sheet of paper or an electronic document that comprises a grid of cells arranged into rows and columns. You can enter many types of data in the cells. This data can be easily manipulated as well as used in calculations. Earlier, spreadsheets were paper-based, in which the data was entered and updated manually. This was quite time-consuming and error-prone. But with the advent of computers and more specifically the spreadsheet programs, this task has become quite easier. Today, every business uses electronic spreadsheets in computer to store and maintain data in places of paper-based worksheets. There are many spreadsheet programs available in the market, including Microsoft Excel, the OpenOffice Calc, Google Sheets, and Apple iWork Numbers. In this chapter, we will discuss the most popular spreadsheet program named Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel, usually called MS Excel or simply Excel, is an electronic spreadsheet program included in Microsoft Office software package. It lets you organize large amount of data in form of rows and columns and perform calculations. Excel includes many built-in tools and features that make our work easier. The main features of Excel are: it is a powerful yet an easy-to-use software. It allows you to use formulae to perform repetitive and complex calculations easily. It also has many built-in functions to compute minimum, maximum, average, etc. of given values. You can present the data in a graphical form, such as charts, which help to analyze the data in an effective manner. Microsoft has released many versions of Office till date, such as Office 2003, 2007, 2010, 2013, and 2016. Here, we will discuss how to work with Microsoft Excel 2016, which is a part of Microsoft Office 2016. Starting MS Excel. To start the MS Excel program, follow these steps. Step 1. Click the Start button. The Start menu appears, showing list of apps in an alphabetical order with recently added and most used apps at the top. Step 2. Scroll down till letter E in the list. Under E letter, click Excel 2016. The MS Excel opening screen appears. Click Blank Workbook from the right pane of the opening screen. The PowerPoint Excel window with a blank workbook appears. Parts of Excel window. The Excel window has many parts as shown in the figure. You are already familiar with some of the parts such as title bar, file tab, ribbon, which are common in all MS Office applications. Let us learn about the parts which are specific in MS Excel only. Worksheet and workbook. When you open Excel program, the Excel document that appears on the screen is called a workbook. It is temporarily named as Book 1. Each workbook contains one or more worksheets. A worksheet is a grid of rectangular cells made up of rows and columns. It is the main area where you enter the data and perform calculations. An Excel 2016 workbook contains only one worksheet by default, named as Sheet 1. You can work only in one worksheet at a time, called Active Worksheet. You can add or delete worksheets from a workbook as per your requirement. Row headings and column headings. A worksheet in Excel 2016 has 10,48,576 rows and 16,384 columns. The rows are identified by row headings, which are marked as 1, 2, 3, and so on along the left edge of the worksheet. The columns are identified by column headings, which are marked using letters A, B, C, Z, AA, AB, AAA up to XFD across the top of the worksheet. Cell. A cell is the smallest unit of a worksheet. It is formed by the intersection of a row and a column. Each cell has its own address, which is represented by the combination of a column letter and a row number. For example, E6 is the address of the cell formed at the intersection of column E and row 6. When you click on any cell, a thick green border appears around it. This border shows that the cell is active. For example, the cell A1 is the active cell in the following worksheet. You can enter data only in an active cell in a worksheet. You can enter maximum 32,767 characters in a single cell. Range of cells. A group of adjacent cells that forms a rectangular area in the worksheet is referred to as a range of cells or block of cells. It is specified by the address of starting cell of the range followed by the colon symbol and the address of last cell of the range. For example, A3 colon D5 indicates a range starting from A3 till D5. The colon symbol is called the range indicator. Name box. The name box is located below the ribbon on the left side of the window. It shows the address of the active cell. Formula bar. The formula bar is present on the right of the name box. It shows the value or the formula used in an active cell. You can also type or change the contents of the active cell directly on the formula bar. Sheet tab and tab scrolling bar. The Sheet tab is located beside the horizontal scroll bar. It shows the list of sheets in the current workbook. You can move from one worksheet to another within the same workbook using the Sheet tab. For this, click on the desired worksheet on the Sheet tab. The tab scrolling bar is on the left of the Sheet tab. When you have many worksheets in your workbook, you can quickly switch between the worksheets by clicking the arrow buttons on the tab scrolling bar. Creating a new workbook. To create a new workbook in Excel, follow these steps. Step 1. Click on the File tab and select the New option. Step 2. Click the blank Workbook option from the right pane of the Backstage view that appears. A new workbook is created. Entering data in a worksheet. Once you have created a workbook, you can enter data in it. You can enter following 3 types of data in an Excel worksheet. Text. It consists of alphabets, numbers, special characters, and blank spaces. The text data is by default left aligned in a cell and is not used in calculations. Numbers. These are the values that consist of digits 0 to 9 and symbols like. By default, the numeric values are right aligned in the cell. They can be used in calculations. Formulas. A formula is an expression formed by the combination of numbers, operators, and cell addresses. It is used to perform calculations on the values stored in a cell or a range of cells. A formula in Excel begins with an equal to sign. To enter data in a worksheet, follow these steps. Step 1. Click on the cell where you want to enter the data. Step 2. Type the data. Step 3. Press the Enter key. As you start typing data in a cell, you can see its contents in the cell as well as formula bar. Also, two small buttons appear to the left of the formula bar. Click the Cancel button if you want to reject the data entry without pressing the Delete key. Click the Accept button if you want to keep the data entry in the cell. Clicking this button is equivalent to pressing the Enter key. Moving around the worksheet. While entering data in a worksheet, you need to move from one cell to another. The following table lists the keyboard shortcuts to navigate in a worksheet. Keyboard shortcut. Function. Moves the cell above the active cell. Moves to the cell below the active cell. Moves to the cell on the left of the active cell. Moves to the cell on the right of the active cell. Moves to the last cell in the current row. Moves to the first cell in the current row. Moves to the last cell in the current column. Moves to the first cell in the current column. Moves to the first cell, that is A1, of the active worksheet. Moves to the last cell containing data in the active worksheet. Moves the active cell highlight up one screen. Moves the active cell highlight down one screen. Saving a workbook. Once you have entered data in a worksheet, you can save the workbook so that you can view it in future. To save a workbook, follow these steps. Step 1. Click the File tab and then click the Save As option. Step 2. Click the Browse option from the middle pane of the Backstage view that appears. The Save As dialog box appears. Step 3. Choose the desired location where you want to save the workbook from the left pane of the dialog box. Step 4. Type a name of the workbook in the File Name text box. Step 5. Click the Save button. An Excel file is always saved with .xlsx extension. If you are saving a workbook for the first time, you can choose either of Save or Save As option on the File tab. Once the file is saved and you make some changes in it, simply click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar to save the updated workbook. Opening a saved workbook. You can open a workbook once it is saved. To open an existing workbook, follow these steps. Step 1. Click the File tab and click the Open option. Step 2. Click the Browse option from the middle pane of the Backstage view that appears. The Open dialog box appears. Step 3. Locate the workbook from the left pane of the dialog box. Step 4. Select the workbook you want to open and click the Open button. Working with worksheets. The Excel workbook in Excel 2016 contains only one worksheet by default. You can insert more worksheets if required. You can also delete an existing worksheet from the workbook or even change the name of a worksheet. Inserting a new worksheet. To add a new worksheet, follow any of these steps. Click the Insert button in the Cells group on the Home tab and select Insert Sheet option from the drop-down list. A new worksheet is inserted before the active worksheet. Click the New Sheet icon after the last sheet on the Sheet tab. A new worksheet is inserted at the end. Deleting a worksheet. To delete a worksheet from a workbook, follow any of these steps. To delete the active worksheet, click the Delete button in the Cells group on the Home tab and select Delete Sheet option from the drop-down list. Right-click on the worksheet to be deleted on the Sheet tab and select the Delete option from the shortcut menu. If the worksheet you are deleting contains data, Excel prompts you with a message box. Click Delete to delete the worksheet or click Cancel to cancel the deletion. Renaming a worksheet. To change the name of a worksheet, follow these steps. Step 1. Double-click on the name of the desired worksheet on the Sheet tab. It will be highlighted. Step 2. Type the new name and press the Enter key. Using the AutoSum feature. The AutoSum feature is one of the most commonly used features in Excel. It allows you to quickly find the total of the selected cell contents. It is the most basic formula that can be used in an Excel worksheet. To use the AutoSum feature, follow these steps. Step 1. Click on the blank cell below the range of cells of which you want to find the sum. Step 2. Click the AutoSum button in the Editing group on the Home tab. The range of cells will be displayed in the selected cell. Step 3. Press the Enter key to display the sum. Closing a workbook and exiting Excel. To close the current workbook, click the File tab and then click the Close option. A message box appears asking if you would like to save the changes made to the workbook. Remember to save your workbook before closing it, or you might lose your data. To exit the Excel application, click the Close button on the top right corner of the Excel window. Quick recap. A spreadsheet, also referred to as worksheet, is a sheet of paper or an electronic document that comprises a grid of cells arranged in rows and columns. Microsoft Excel, usually called MS Excel or simply Excel, is an electronic spreadsheet program included in Microsoft Office software package. When you open Excel program, the Excel document that appears on the screen is called a workbook. Each workbook contains one or more worksheets. A worksheet is a grid of rectangular cells made up of rows and columns. It is the main area where you enter the data and perform calculations. A cell is the smallest unit of a worksheet. It is formed by the intersection of a row and a column. A group of adjacent cells that forms a rectangular area in the worksheet is referred to as a range of cells or block of cells. The name box shows the address of the active cell, and the formula bar is present on the right of the name box. It shows the value or the formula used in an active cell. The Sheet tab shows the list of sheets in the current workbook. When you have many worksheets in your workbook, you can quickly switch between the worksheets by clicking the arrow buttons on the tab scrolling bar. You can enter 3 types of data in an Excel worksheet: text, numbers, and formulae.